Welcome back, Nerd Squad, to Top 10 Nerd. I'm your host, Johnny Rogers, and before we get started, if you happen to be new here, hit that subscribe button, join our nerd family, and let us know in the comments which character from Game of Thrones is your all-time favorite. Plus, if you're not all caught up on Game of Thrones, I warn you now, there will be spoilers in this video. You have been warned. Now let's get into today's list of the top 10 Game of Thrones fan theories. Number 10, Littlefinger faked his death. A Game of Thrones fan by the name of Neo on YouTube has proposed a very interesting theory about how Littlefinger actually faked his death.
When I try to understand a person's motives, I play a little game. What about Happy?
This theory believes that Littlefinger sensed his impending demise and had already left Winterfell. His place was then taken by a faceless man, and the video does a great job of connecting him to the faceless men, mostly because he's the one character who talks about them the most throughout the series. Number 9, Ice and Fire marriage. An interesting theory has surfaced that Jon Snow and Daenerys will be forming an alliance via marriage to take down Cersei and end the White Walker invasion. She is the Dragon Queen and he is the newly crowned King of the North, so together they would be unstoppable. Sure, they're related, but that doesn't seem to matter in Game of Thrones. If an incest marriage is what stops something horrible like the White Walkers, they're down. Number 8, the Westworld theory. What would be a video about fan theories if we didn't go to the unrealistic side of things? YouTuber bat_man_10_11 posted a video detailing the similarities between Game of Thrones and Westworld. If you haven't watched Westworld, it's another HBO show about a theme park made up of robots who look human to cater to the real human guests that enter the park. There are some far-reaching points that suggest Westeros sounds like Westworld, so it could be another park. The only point that somewhat is valid is that both shows are on HBO. However, by that logic though, so is Curb Your Enthusiasm, and you're not gonna see Larry David walking up to a White Walker anytime soon saying, you know, we're not so different, you're white, I'm white, we're both just trying to walk here. Number 7, underground dragons. More specifically, this fan theory believes that there are actually dragons underneath Winterfell. There is quite a lot of evidence to support this as well, one of which that comes from Martin's novels. The theory strings from the fact that Winterfell was built over hot springs, which is what they believe heats the castle, but could it be dragons heating the castle from beneath Winterfell? Fans are speculating that a dragon could have gotten underneath during the start of the Dance of the Dragons. Rumor has it that before Game of Thrones began, Jacaerys Velaryon rode his dragon Vermax to the north and laid dragon eggs below the castle. It's an interesting theory and something that we would love to see play out. Just imagine a dragon busting out of the ground just in the nick of time to save everyone from zombies. Number 6, Bran the Builder. This theory is a big one. In season 6 we saw the reveal that Bran Stark can not just see into the past, but he can manipulate it as well. Now, over 8,000 years before the events in Game of Thrones, a man named Bran the Builder raised a wall in Winterfell to keep the White Walkers out. Fans even point to this passage in George R.R. Martin's books to support this theory. It reads, sometimes Nan would talk to him as if he were Brandon, the baby she had nursed all those years ago, and sometimes she confused him with his uncle Brandon, who was killed by the Mad King before Bran was ever born. She had lived so long, Mother had told him once that all the Brandon Starks had become one person in her head. Number 5, King Gendry. This is a great fan theory that makes a ton of sense actually. If you can recall in the season 7 finale, Tyrion and Cersei were having a behind closed doors discussion. Fans believe that the Lannister siblings have chosen Gendry to become the next ruler of the Seven Kingdoms. Why, you ask? Well, Gendry is actually the firstborn of Cersei. Her firstborn was believed to have died as told in the second episode of the show. However, Gendry has lived in King's Landing his entire life, and considering it's a city that Cersei knows everything about, it's plausible that Gendry could be her secret son. That private discussion that I mentioned earlier could have been the moment that Cersei tells Tyrion that Gendry is her son, which will lead to them setting him up for a seat on the Iron Throne. Number 4, new face who dis. This fan theory suggests that Arya has been dead the entire time and that the waif has been wearing her face as far back as season 6. Back in season 6, Arya had a final confrontation with a faceless man, and when she leads the waif into a dark room in Bravos, that's where it all goes down. We see Arya emerge seemingly victorious, but did she? The fan theory goes that the waif actually killed Arya and began wearing her face. There are a few things that give this theory some weight, one of which would be her switching from using her left hand to her right, then begin acting in a kind of colder demeanor. Although, if you just killed someone, you'd be pretty cold as well. However, there are greater implications if this turns out to be true. For one, it would give the Faceless Men an insider in Westeros that carries some real power. Plus, let's not put it past George R. R. Martin for nixing a beloved character without even telling you. Number 3. Sam the Prince. According to a fan theory posted to Reddit by Mr. Silence T, Samwell is actually the prince that was promised. Believed to be the one who will save the world from the Night King, the theory goes that before the sack of King's Landing, Varys smuggles out the firstborn son of Rhaegar out of the city. The firstborn is destined to be the prince that was promised. In his place is a peasant boy that the mountain ends up killing. The first son is actually sent across the narrow sea where he becomes young Griff. According to Mr. Silence T though, young Griff is the son of Rhaegar Targaryen and Lyanna Stark. The theory is suggesting that Varys wanted there to be 2 potential heirs to take the throne in case something bad happened. So he sent away Rhaegar and Lyanna's son and sent his own son by Ilya to be brought up at Horn Hill. This is however a book only theory because we know that Rhaegar and Lyanna's son grows up to be Jon Snow, but Mr. Silence T believes that Jon is actually the son of Ned Stark and Shara Dane. It's doubtful that Sam will be the hero of Westeros, but the theory is creative to say the least. Number 2. Cersei the Mad Queen. In season 7, Cersei's behavior shows that she's increasingly losing perspective and control. She declares herself the ruler of the 7 kingdoms, and as one fan suggests, she's becoming more and more like the Mad King. She's gone back on her word about fighting the White Walkers, which poses a real problem. These actions show that the Mad Queen is doing what she wants when she wants. The only thing that would hold her back and balance her was the love that she had for her children, but with all of them dead, it looks like there's no one there to hold her accountable. Lastly, on our number 1 spot, Bran the Night King. While there is little evidence to support this fan theory, many are convinced that Bran will become the Night King. The speculation comes from the similar wardrobe that the 2 characters don in the show. Although actor Isaac Hempstead Wright, who plays the character, said in an interview with Esquire that he doesn't think that that's going to happen. And he's quoted saying, "I personally think that the Night King theory is a bit far-fetched, but I would have said the same thing about the Hordo theory, and when I saw that on paper I was like, what? No way. But this is Game of Thrones and anything is possible. I'd love to be the Night King, that would be so fun to be like, it was me all along, but I don't know, I doubt it. I guess we'll just have to wait until season 8 to find out." And that has been the top 10 Game of Thrones fan theories. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up button. Plus leave us a comment down below with your thoughts on this list. And if you happen to be new here, don't forget to subscribe before you leave. Plus if you want any more videos like this one, all you gotta do is click that playlist on your screen. From Top 10 Nerd, I'm Johnny Rogers, until next time, take care.